The feed just began, but the feed lasts 5 minutes at most, as the eaglets are so young, eaglets. And she might be eating because she just got back on the nest. No, she's feeding. Okay, she's starting the feed. And it's almost 7 p.m., so I'm losing light. Well, she was feeding, but it looks like now she's reorganizing the nest. Yes, she's repositioning a branch. As the baby grows, we'll see them better. Right now, she's proofing the sides of the nest. She just got back in the nest with a branch, and the other one just left. I'm guessing to bring more food. And they've been feeding the babies every hour for like a minute to 5 minutes max, but every single hour they've been getting up and feeding them. And they're still too small for us to see them. The bowl is super huge. I will actually try to find my picture of the nest, because I actually took a picture of the nest with the drone when they weren't in the nest during the winter. And I'm going to wait it out just a few minutes because the other one might come back with a fish. They've been back and forth. They've been bringing fish on branches. And I am filming through the window as it is windy on and off, and it is freezing cold. 7 p.m. the light is going down. And I will be filming regularly, and as the baby grows, a lot more, because we will be watching them playing, assuming there are two, they will be playing, hopping, stretching wings, getting ready for the first flight. And usually I try to film the first flight, and it might not be far, but I try to get the fledge every year. And then once they're out of the nest, I film them training with their parents, learning to fly, the techniques, hunt. And you will know when we see the babies, when they're young, their heads looks like little cotton balls. See, I'm losing light, that's why I'm zooming out. And she saw something. I am filming a mile away too, if you're not a regular on my channel. Weather phone. I don't have any high-tech equipment. I keep everything authentic and real. I don't use filters. I don't use AI. I'm not high-tech. What I see is what you see. I don't try to make it look better with filters or whatever. And I'm guessing she can see the other eagle. That's why she's looking. It got very cold last night and this morning, well, throughout the day. I'm hoping that the other one comes back. I've got a short, I missed. I got it just as it landed, bringing a branch. So I'm hoping it comes back one more time with maybe a fish or a goose, whatever. And usually I film outside so you can get the rest of the sounds like the birds, the squirrels. But it's just too cold, and with the wind it's not working really well. And because we're losing light, when I zoom in it's not too clear. Right now it's not too bad. And she might get up again and feed them, because she didn't really feed this time. Oh, they're due in 10 minutes, so I'm going to wait it out in case they keep up with the hourly feed. And I've lost track of which one is on the nest right now. They were both on the nest when I came on, but by the time it connected, one flew away. Typical. See, because we're losing light, it gets blurry if I zoom in too much. And when it gets darker, it's hard for me to see the other one because it really blends in with the rock. And the nest is huge. They've taken over the nest that was vacant for a year. The usual pair left last year. And they had a nest on the side of this one which was infested with snakes, and they lost one eaglet to a snake. So this year, when they realized this nest wouldn't be used again, they took over. They added a lot of branches on the top of it to make the bowl even deeper. And looking at the markings of these parents, the young parents, maybe 7 years old, they've still got some white, which are the markings for juveniles and younger eagles. And last year must have been the first set of eaglets. They made a lot of mistakes, like both of them would go to hunt, and that's how the snake got the eaglet. One of the eaglets, the other one made it. And that nest has been here for 30 years plus. It has seen all kind of weather, but it has been in place for 30 years plus. And that other pair that left last year had been here for 10 years. Well, more than 10 years, but I've watched them for 10 years. And that one arrived last year, so this is the second year. I guess the other one's not going to come back quite yet. I've got 5 more minutes in case they do that hourly feed. It's been pretty neat today because I've kept it to like 2, 3, 4, so it's much easier to keep track on the hour. And I will have the chat back as the eaglets grow. I'm trying to maybe get the zoom a bit more focused, but with the window it's kind of hard. I get the window texture. And yes, bird watching, I mean, not much happening unless they're hunting and playing and feeding. Right now I'm doing short stream just to get back into the YouTube live stream recommendations, I guess, because I took a break while the eagles were on a break. And in that nest, I'm sure it's full of rodents at some point at night. I wish I had a night vision device. That would be pretty neat. And that rock is actually not climbable, so that's why you don't have a camera above the nest. The nest anyway is in the middle of the rock, but that rock has been studied and it is not climbable. Which I guess is a good thing, then they don't get disrupted as much. And yes, the deer is still around here, but I'm trying to not bother them. A lot of the does are pregnant and they get very, very much on edge. They're on edge because they're pregnant. So I try to respect the space, and they know when I put the phone in my box to film them. So while they're pregnant, I try to leave them alone and give them space. They're still popping by in groups right now, but the 30 are back on property, and approximately, 30 whitetails and maybe 15 mule deers. So we've got the two herds roaming around. And they're looking at the cornfields. They know the cornfield has been planted and it's going to grow. And they're all going to move in the cornfield. And I don't know if we're watching Mama or Papa. I lost track of who was in the nest. One just left at the beginning of the stream, meaning it went to get some food, either in the river or at the ponds on the property, or further down in one of the reservoirs. We don't have much sun today, so it's getting darker. She looks like a queen in a huge nest, or a king, because I don't know which one is in the nest right now. And I am still trying to track down the owl. She moved a tree, and I have still not located her. And I know she's got owlets, but I have not yet managed to locate her. But there are like 100 trees on the property, so right now I keep going around each tree looking for the pellets on the ground. Usually that's my indication, but I have not spotted the pellets and I have not spotted out. She is hiding well due to her babies. In case I've got new viewers, this is to give you an overview. It's a huge nest. On that rock face, it is 800 feet drop from the top to the bottom. At the bottom is a river. And when the eaglets take their first flight, they can't really miss. They're better to get on the ledge because it is a fair drop, 700 feet approximately. They're not quite at the top. So I would say maybe, 700 feet drop. I'm guessing they're waiting for, she or he is waiting for more food. So the way they've done it is that any fresh food they're bringing goes on the right of your screen at the back of the nest, and the food that they are feeding and using is on the left of the screen, left side of the nest, and both piles are against the wall. And then when whatever they're eating, the bones is all that's left, one of them will lift up the bones and take them by a cave on the rock face. So I haven't seen yet where they're taking it, but I'll keep an eye, and then we can film the pile to see how much they piled up, I guess. And the nest is right below two huge caves, so as the eaglets grow and the parents don't remain on the nest, they will go inside that cave right above the nest, and they can keep an eye on the eaglets. Was hoping they would do another feed. Oh, she's looking down, or he, so we might get a feed. Hope we do. Nope, it's going to preen instead. I think that could be Mama due to the gold. She's got a lot more gold on the back of her head than the Papa. When I lose track, then I need to see them together because the largest one is the female. I'm going to wait it just a bit longer because she keeps looking down at the eaglets, or he. So we might be able to get a feed watch in. The eaglets must be moving unless the second egg is hatching. I don't know how many eggs they had. And they often hatch on separate days, so maybe we've got another egg hatching, and that's what she's looking at. Oh, because on the 23rd, that's what kept happening, and she kept moving up and down, looking. And then on the 24th, I caught the first feed. She never fed on the 23rd. So one was definitely born on the 23rd. Before that, she wasn't really moving, just incubating. So we might get a second eaglet. I hope we do, because then the siblings play. They play on the nest, they kind of fight, and it's more fun to watch. Until we get to see them, yeah, not much happening beside watching the adult and then seeing the backside as they feed the eaglets. I'm pretty sure there is some hatching going on. This is the same behaviors that I observed on the 23rd of April. Going to try to zoom in, but with a lack of light, it gets fuzzy or fuzzier. And the calls are still coming. Very slow process in befriending them. Fatso Mama, aka Mishka Squirrel, is back every day. And she's weaning her babies off. So she's on a secondary tree and she's almost ready to take the nuts from my mouth again. Today I could touch her back and she wasn't jumpy. She gets very jumpy and aggressive when she has babies, as she should. But today I was allowed to run my finger on her back a few times. So I'm guessing in the next few days she'll be ready to take nuts from my mouth without getting my nose on, my face. I know it would make for a fun video, but nah. I've got enough wisdom lines, I don't need the scars. Wisdom lines, wisecracks, whatever you want to call it. Some people will call it wrinkles, I just call it wisecracks or wisdom lines. It's much better. Something is happening inside the nest. I don't think I'm seeing the other one, but it could be right there and I wouldn't see it because everything is so much darker. And every time I disconnect, that's when the other one comes back or they get up and feed the babies. Let's hope that these eaglets are as entertaining, eaglet or eaglets, as Zoo of last year was. She left just before turning 1 year old. She left a few days prior turning 1 year old. This was the first time an eaglet stayed this long. She stayed during the mating of Mama and Papa. All right, I guess we're not going to see any feeding or the other one coming back, so I'll disconnect for now and I might come back late afternoon, early evening tomorrow, because that's when the sun is not right in the lens. Otherwise we can't see anything due to the sun. I've tried it so many times last year with umbrellas, lens covers, I tried everything, lens shaders I mean. And I've got all these weather warnings coming in. It might rain, hopefully it won't interfere with the visibility, but they forecasted rain all day today and we got nothing, so They forecasted snow quite a few times and we got nothing one of these years. Anyway, you all have a good night, a good day, depending where you're watching from, and I'll see you on the next one. Blessings. Bye. Au revoir. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. And whatever else. Bye.